कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। श्लोक। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरहित श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. We are on chapter 1, text number 11. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu, ayaneshu cha sarveshu यथा भागमवस्थिताः, यथा भागमवस्थिताः भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु, भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु Bhavantah sarva eva hi. Bhavantah sarva eva hi. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu. Yatha bhagam avasthitaah. Bhishmamevabhirakshantu. Bhavantah sarva eva hi. Anyone wants to recite? Bhavantah sarva eva hi. Ayaneshu, in the strategic points. Cha, also. Sarveshu, everywhere. Yatha bhagam, as differently arranged. Avasthitaha, situated. Bhishmam, unto grandfather Bhishma. Abhirakshantu, should give support. Bhavantaha, you. Sarve, all respectively. Evahi, certainly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Purport. Duryodhan, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think they had been considered less important. So, in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhishma Dev was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man. So, everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhan clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishma. He was confident of the full support of Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up, as they had done during the gambling performances. So here we see how Duryodhana is speaking diplomatic words because he wants to ensure that everyone supports him, everyone cooperates with him. So as mentioned in the purport, during the gambling match, Dyut Krida, that happened before the Vanvas. So they were cheated of the kingdom, right? Shakuni played that gambling match. He had some tricks and he cheated everyone, cheated the Pandavas. And the Pandavas had to lose everything. And finally, they called Draupadi. And Draupadi, they attempted to insult Draupadi by disrobing her. So when all these injustices were happening, all these great people were sitting there. Who all? Bhishma, Dronacharya, Dhritarashtra. Karna was like not an elder. Karna was also there, but not elders. Among elders, all these people were there. Kripacharya, Vidur. So when elders are present, usually you don't expect injustice to happen. Right? Injustice happen among usually equals. So in spite of all these elders are present, elders being present, and they are crying for justice, and unfortunately no one spoke anything. Everyone knew cheating is happening, but they didn't know how to respond. And especially when Draupadi was getting insulted, at least at that time they should speak up. There's the biggest injustice happening. Even then, no one spoke anything. For various reasons, we won't get into the reasons now, but Duryodhana saw no one is speaking anything. So when the biggest injustice is happening and no one is speaking anything, so he's hoping that even now, Bhishma and Dronacharya will support him. So when you don't speak against injustice, you are indirectly supporting the crime. Right? You can't be neutral. Sometimes oftentimes we see when a crime is happening on the roadside or anywhere, people who want to remain neutral, they don't speak anything, thinking that I don't want to get into problems. I won't support this person. I won't support that person, that side. I'll remain neutral and be safe. But actually there is no safe situation. Usually remaining neutral means you are supporting the wrongdoers. There are many less people who speak against crime. And if we remain silent when a crime is happening, you are actually encouraging the criminals. We find it many times, right? In the local trains, when someone is stealing something, when someone is getting abused, people just watch. In fact, they are more interested in clicking the video and posting it on Facebook and social media. They are demanding help, they are requesting help, and then this guy is busy taking video and sharing it on WhatsApp. So, therefore, not speaking when you are expected to speak is like you are supporting the injustice. And that's what happened in the Kuru assembly. So all these people, Dhritarashtra was anyway supporting, but Bhishma and Dronacharya, they are expected to give justice. And they also remained silent. And therefore Duryodhana thought, they are supporting me. So if they supported him at that time, so in the war also they will support me. That's what he's hoping. And he knew that Bhishma and Dronacharya had some affection towards the Pandavas. But now the war time is there. So in war time you are supposed to give up all affection, all sentiments, all emotions aside, and then you fight. Right? If you get carried away by sentimentality and emotions, then you can't fight properly. Right? So that's why he is speaking these words. So he knows Bhishma is old man, although he is the most powerful warrior in the whole battlefield. But because he is old, he can't move around, he is not agile. So the enemy warriors who are younger than him, they can take advantage. So he is saying, so please cooperate. Bhishma will lead definitely, but you protect him from all sides. So in Vedic times, whenever war used to happen, the main warrior is not alone. There are people who are on the right side supporting him, left side. There are people who are taking care of his right wheel, left wheel, taking care of his horses. It's a big arrangement. So in this way, Duryodhana is requesting everyone to cooperate with Bhishma. So Duryodhana's speech is full of diplomacy. Not that he is really concerned about Bhishma's welfare or Dronacharya's welfare. He is more concerned about himself. He wants to win the war. He wants to gain the kingdom. He wants to become the king. Therefore, he wants Bhishma to be protected. Not because he is really affectionate towards Bhishma and Drona and he is really concerned about their security and welfare. Nothing about that. So this is a typical statement of politicians. They will speak sweet sounding words, but they are really self-interested, self-concerned. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, you find characteristics of leaders in this age of Kali Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga, right? Yeah, beginning of Kali Yuga. And what are the characteristics of the age of Kali? How people behave, how people talk, all the things are explained. So one characteristic of the age of Kali is might is right. Whoever has strength, they will succeed. If you want justice, then might is right. Whoever has money power, whoever has other influential power, those people will get justice. Those who are weak, they will suffer. You have to drag your case in the courts for several years. That's the case. Then another characteristic of Kali Yuga is Panditye Chapalam Vachaha. Before that, one characteristic is political leaders who are supposed to give security to people, they will become the biggest exploiters. So we go to them hoping we will get security, but they will be the biggest looters. One characteristic is Panditya Chapalam Vachaha. Anyone who speaks nice words, word jugglery, such a person will be considered to be a big scholar. All you have to do is make nice, exciting presentations. PowerPoint presentation, you show nice video, all kinds of sound and video effects. You may be speaking garbage, but the presentation style matters. And if the presentation style is good, then wow, you are a big scholar, Pandit. Like there is a story of one king who had a scholar in his court, well-learned scholar. So one time, another person came to challenge this scholar. And he wanted to prove that he is a better scholar. So the king invited, and they arranged a debate between the two scholars. Whoever wins the debate, he is the winner. So the Pandit, the actual person, the king's man, they sat together in front of each other, and he asked him, Kastvam. Kastvam means, who are you? Sanskrit. In those times, debate used to happen in Sanskrit. Kastvam. Now the other guy didn't know anything about Sanskrit. But then he has to answer. पूछा गया तो जवाब तो देना ही है. So what did he do? He didn't want to admit he doesn't know Sanskrit. Jai Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki. He didn't want to admit he is ignorant about Sanskrit. So he said, Kastvam? Kastvam, mastvam, phastvam, thastvam, jastvam. He just spoke like that. So now this guy, the actual scholar, what will he answer to such a person? He has to answer something sensible, right? You ask a question and you reply something else, then how will the debate continue? So this man didn't answer anything, and he left the court. So इसके चेले चपेटे जो थे, this guys, they glorified him. You answered the question and you defeated the big scholar. Now you are the winner. So this is what happens in Kali Yuga. You actually present a nice statement, nice argument, But then the other person will speak something ulta only. And then he is declared as a scholar. Khastvam mastam sab chalta hai udhar. So in this way, Duryodhan's diplomacy comes out here. His heart, his envious nature of the heart comes out here. So in this verse we find Bhishma meva bhirakshantu. Bhishma, in the next verse also, Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddha pitamaha simhanadam vinadyochai shankham dadhmau pratapavan. So when Bhishma was requested like this by Duryodhan, everyone should protect and Bhishma should lead. So to give joy and relief to Duryodhan, Bhishma blew his conch shell. Simhanadam vinadyochai shankham dadhmau pratapavan. Shankham dadhmau means blew the shankh, blew the conch. Simhanadam means very loud conch. In order to sanjanayan, in order to give relief and joy to Duryodhan. So Bhishma, the Mahabharata describes Bhishma's origin, history of Bhishma. How he became so powerful and what are his heavenly origin, divine origins. So the Mahabharata describes the story on the heavenly region, heavenly planet. There was this king named, his name was Mahavisha in the heavenly region, heavenly planet. And he was a great king, great person, performed a lot of sacrifices. One time he was sitting in Indra's court. Indra is the king of the demigods. And some assembly is going on and Mahavisha is also present there. And everything is going on nicely. Brahmaji, all the great personalities are present there. And one lady enters. Who is that? Her name is Ganga. Ganga Devi. Ganga Devi is extremely beautiful. And this Mahavisha keeps staring at her in an improper manner. So everyone notices, this guy is staring at her. So Brahmaji also notices that. Others are not looking at her. This Mahavisha is looking. So Brahmaji feels this is inappropriate. This person is of bad character. So he curses him. You are not fit to remain here. You should go to the earth. Which means earth has people like this. You should go to the earth. Earth is considered inferior compared to heavenly regions. So Mahavisha, he accepts the curse. What can he do? Brahmaji is cursing, kuch kar nahi sakta. So he says, okay, do I have a choice in whose family I can be born? Let me take birth as the son of king named Pratipa. There is a king named Pratipa on earth. Let me become his son. He is a very great king, well-known, pious king. Let me become his son. So Brahmaji says, okay, granted. He will become his son. So he gets ready to fall down. Now Ganga Devi also notices this. Mahavisha is attracted to her. So the curse event happened and Mahavisha went. Ganga Devi also goes on her way. When she is going, she comes to his place where she saw Ashtavasus. Ashtavasus are special people. They have a special position in the universe, some administrative position. They are sitting there sad, morose. So Ganga Devi asks her, what happened? Kya ho gaya? So they say, you know what happened? their eldest brother was named Dyau. So we saw this Vasishta Rishi, and he has a cow, special cow, named Nandini. And what is the special feature of the cow? This cow can give you anything. You just express your desire, and the cow can give you anything. Kamadhenu cow, kind of, fulfilling your desires. So we developed a desire to snatch the cow. Why does this rishi should enjoy the cow? Right? We should get the cow. So the elder brother, the eldest brother among the 8, his name was Dyau. He said, we should all capture the cow and take it for us. So they captured the cow. And then Vasishta got angry. So what did he do? He uttered a curse. You all should take birth on earth. And you have to suffer one lifetime on earth. But this eldest one, Dyau, he has to suffer more. So you all take birth and immediately you will come back without remaining alive for a long time. But the eldest one has to spend an entire lifetime. Therefore they were sitting morose. That's when Ganga Devi came there. So they explained this incident to Ganga. So then they requested Ganga, you do one thing. You become our mother. We don't want any ordinary mother. If at all, since we have to take birth on earth, can you become our mother? So Ganga Devi recalled the previous incident. Mahavisha getting cursed, he getting attracted to Ganga. And Ganga Devi now has to become a mother. So everything is jigsaw puzzle fit ho raha hai. So Ganga said, okay, I'll become your mother. So everyone comes down. So there's a big plan here now. Everything unfolding. So Ganga Devi, Mahavisha comes as the son of Pratipa. And that person is Shantanu. Shantanu of Mahabharata. And Shantanu is he's ruling the kingdom, very nice king, ruling the kingdom very nicely, and he's on a walk in the kingdom, and there he sees one attractive young lady. Who is that? Ganga. And not Bhishma, Shantanu is attracted to this woman, and he says, why don't you become my queen? You will enjoy all pleasures. Please accept my proposal. So Ganga Devi is waiting. Ganga Devi accepts the proposal. But then she says, on one condition. What is the condition? I will do anything. You should never question me. The moment you question me, I will leave you. So Shantanu was like too captivated by Ganga's beauty. He didn't mind any number of conditions. He said, okay. And they stayed together. And at the end of every year, one child was born. One boy was born. But as soon as the child was born, Ganga would take the child without telling anything to anyone, including Shantanu. She would carry the child, go to the river Ganga, drop the child into the waters. And Shantanu was like shocked. How can a mother do this? Newborn baby, pani mein dal diya. Direct cold murder. But he didn't say anything. He remembered the promise. If I say anything, this lady will go away. So he tolerated. And another child was born. Again the same thing happened. Third child, fourth child, fifth, sixth, seventh. Seventh child was born. That also drowned. Eighth child was born. And Shantanu is like, now ready. Ganga Devi took the child. About to throw the child into the water, Shantanu says, stop! How can you do this? How are you stone-hearted lady? How can you do this? Newborn babies, you are killing them. Ganga Devi is not saying anything. He said, okay, you want the child? Take the child. Bye. She said, I'm going. You go your way now. This is our condition. Now that you have raised your voice, made your expression, I am going. So Shantanu says, okay, but I have one request. You take this child with you, to the heavenly planets. Please train him nicely, give him all good education. And then once he's grown up, young man, get him here. Then I will take him. So Ganga says, okay. So this child goes with Ganga back to heavens. There in the heavenly regions, Ganga gives him education under the teachers. Who are the teachers? Parashuram, Brihaspati, Shukracharya, all these people. Under these teachers, this boy is trained. So one day Shantanu was going around his kingdom. So he felt bad. Ganga Devi left him. But then that was the whole destiny. So he comes back, and then after several years he's roaming around his kingdom and he's going along the Ganga river. Then he suddenly sees the river is missing. No water in the river. Hardly a trickle. He's wondering, who did this? So he goes upstream some distance, and then he saw a young man who had created a dam blocking the entire flow of river. Dam made of arrows. And then he saw, who is this young man? So he's thinking, is he my son? So he asked Ganga, the river, oh Ganga Devi, please tell me, where is my son? So Ganga Devi appears from the river. And she says, yes, this young man, powerful, he is your son. He has got all his education and he has come back now. Please take him and he can become the king. So in this way, the son joins Shantanu back. That was Bhishma. So how he got the name Bhishma, we all know. How Shantanu, again after some time, he saw a daughter of a fisherman. Her name was Satyavati. And Shantanu got attracted to her. And he requested her to become his queen. But then her father made a condition that you can accept her as a queen only if her son becomes the next king. But then Shantanu was not ready for this. He already had a son, Bhishma, qualified son, powerful son. Why should he be deprived of the position? He said, no, that is not possible. So then you can't marry my daughter. So he came back, but he was not happy. So Bhishma saw this. My father is not happy. Something is wrong. So when he inquired, he understood that this is the incident that happened. So he goes to that fisherman, saying, why don't you give your daughter? So he said, this is the condition, your father is not ready. So then he takes a vow. I will not become the king. The son, or through your daughter, will become the king. But then the fisherman was still not convinced. You may not become the king, but then, what is the condition he made? Another? Huh? Yeah, Bhishma's son. Bhishma may get married and he may have a son. What if he becomes the king? So then he says, I won't marry also. I will remain a brahmachari. So in this way, when he took this vow, so there was a heavenly congratulations given to him. Terrible vow. It's not easy. You remain in a royal kingdom where all kinds of pleasures are available, and then you say, I will not marry. So this vow, because he was given the name Bhishma. Bhishma means one who has taken a terrible vow. So in this way, Bhishma's origin is given. So Bhishma, because he was trained by Parashuram, Brihaspati, he became extremely powerful and extremely knowledgeable also. Knowledge of all the Shastras, all the conclusions of the Shastras, everything perfect. Perfect, ideal man. Bhishma is considered one of the 12 Mahajans. Who is a Mahajan? Mahajan means an authority. The Mahabharata says, Mahajano ye nagatas sapantha. If you want to understand the goal of life, then one should follow the path followed by Mahajans. Otherwise, anyone can claim to be an authority, and anyone can start his own theory, own school. But then if you listen to anyone and everyone, we will never understand the goal of life clearly. Especially in today's time, there is so much confusion about spiritual lives, confusion about God, who is God, who am I, what is the goal of life, what is the goal of religion, what is the purpose of religion and worship. You ask anyone and anyone, people will have their own opinions, right? Now when it comes to, say, science, if I ask what is electrical energy or astronomy or mathematics, there are well-defined rules, statements, right? There are standardized systems like this power plug. If I put my socket into the power plug, we know there is standard voltage and current coming out, 220 volts, 5 amperes, the fan, motor system, wattage of electricity, light. Everything is defined. And weight, 1 kilogram, weight is defined. Time is defined, 1 second, 1 minute, everything is defined. And it is standard all over the world, right? So when it is standardized, then it becomes easier to follow systems. Just imagine here you put a socket into the plug and the current is 5 amperes. Somewhere else it is 10 amperes. Somewhere 25 amperes. So device will get damaged, right? So the government ensures that everywhere it is the same standard. That way everyone can benefit out of it. Cooking, there are standard proportions to make, say, pav bhaji, any item. You follow the procedure, you get the best result. But when it comes to spiritual life or religion, theories of religion, there are no standards. Everyone has his own standard. I think, God is this. I think that is God. I think there is no God. I think everyone is God. Now, what is the value of my thinking? I think there is no electricity in the socket, and I put my hand. Will my thinking have any value? I'll get an electric shock and I'll die. Right? So I think theory is all bogus. We need, what is the standard? What are the authorities saying? And accordingly, if we follow the rules, then we benefit. Now someone may say, I think I should, when I'm driving my car, I should follow the right side. I think green means stop and red means go. ऐसे थोड़ी चलता है. Green means go, red means stop. You can't define your traffic laws. Similarly, I can't define my religious law also. Religion means codes given by an authority, ultimately God. Dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavat pranitam. Dharmam, the religious principles, sakshat Bhagavat pranitam, has to be directly given by God Himself. If it is coming from anyone else, any independent authority, then it is not dharma. No matter how respectable the person is, how elevated, influential the person is, or anyone, either directly God himself or anyone who is representative of God. Such a person, when he enumerates principles, that becomes standard codes of religion. Otherwise, sitting here, I can write an own book and say, this is law, religion. Who cares for my law? And why should anyone else care for my law? That's what is happening in today's time. Everyone has his own theory, his own following, his own books, and then they follow a sect. They become a sect. And if they have sufficient numbers, they start influencing others. Now, what is the connection they have got with directly words of God, instructions of God? Who asked these questions? And therefore, we have so many systems of religion in today's times, each one fighting with each other, conflicting with each other. Ultimately, no one asks, but by the way, what exactly are really real religious principles? And in a secular country like India, because we have no idea what is standard religious principles. Oh no, everyone is good, everything is good, and don't disturb each other. You follow whatever you want, you follow whatever I want, and let us remain peaceful. That doesn't work. Just imagine 100 cars say, we will follow the right path, you follow the left path. There will be jam, right? Traffic jam. That cannot be a peaceful situation. You all have to follow one standard. So that's the missing thing in today's society. Therefore, we need to follow a Mahajan. Mahajan means a person who is representing perfectly the laws of God. So here we have the Bhagavad Gita, spoken directly by Krishna himself. Dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Bhagavan himself is saying here. And we don't care anything about this. And we start wondering, so maybe this book, maybe that book, maybe that book. First, let us read this book, which is directly spoken by God. Understand them. Then we can look at other things. We refuse to read the main subject, main book, and look into other subjects. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita has to become a standard textbook everywhere, especially in schools. How many of you have studied Bhagavad Gita in schools? I mean, no one has studied, right? Can you imagine? We are living in a society and no fundamental education about spiritual life. We have studied so many other books, but the most fundamental subject is not taught to us. So how is it surprising to find so many problems in society? We have corruption, we have terrorism, unemployment, poverty, so many social evils are there, right? So scriptures tell us that all these social evils are originating from one root problem. That is ignorance about the laws of God. If that education is given, then all these social evils can be rectified. Therefore, it is a great need to impart this education to everyone. In the Gita, Krishna talks about the importance of scriptural knowledge. How scriptural knowledge is compared to a torchlight. So if you are traveling in a dark room, in a dark area, there are no lights, you need a torch. With the torch, you can see things as they are. So Krishna says, Jnana Deepena Bhasvata Tesham Evanukampartham Aham Ajnanajam Tamaha Nashayami Atma Bhavastho Jnana Deepena Bhasvata. So there is andhakar inside, darkness inside. That darkness can be dissipated with Jnana Deep, the torchlight of knowledge. Another example that Krishna gives is, knowledge is like a weapon. talwar, Gyan Asina. So there are all these knots, karma granthi nibandhanam. There are so many knots in the heart. When two ropes are tied together, that becomes a knot. Just imagine several knots are tied together. One knot after another knot, another knot. It's a big knot. How will you untie them? It's very difficult. Slowly untying them, it may take hours. And if it is a really tight knot, we just cannot do it, right? So what do? What is the solution? You cut it. There is no other solution. So Krishna says, Dridhena chitva. You have to cut this knot with the weapon of knowledge. Otherwise, untying each knot is impossible. Knots caused by our attachments to this world, our attachments to our position, our wealth, our social connections. It's all sometimes big knot. So if you don't have spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, these knots will cause later too many problems. So therefore we have to take this talwar, sword of knowledge, and then cut it. Another example that Krishna gives in the Gita itself is knowledge is compared to a boat. Jnana plava. Sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. So this world is compared to an ocean, huge big ocean. And then you want to cross over the ocean. We may be an expert swimmer, but how can anyone cross an ocean? There are people who cross rivers. There is a competition of English Channel crossing between England and France. People may do that. But then crossing an ocean is impossible. Right? When the Titanic went on the first voyage, they didn't have even lifeboats. They thought, the manufacturer of the ship had said, this is a ship that even God cannot sink. And what happened? God sank it in the first voyage itself. And because it was a ship that even God cannot sink, they thought it is useless to carry all these lifeboats. Usually they carry lifeboats. But this time they didn't carry because there was too much of a load, unnecessary space utilization. So they kept bare few boats, maybe lifeboats. And then they went. And what happened? It hit the iceberg and it sank. And there was no lifeboat. And in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, how will you cross? And everyone died. Right? So the material world is compared to an ocean. And no one can cross this ocean. There you need a boat. Very strong boat or ship, upon which you can enter in. And then the boat will take you to the other side. So scriptural knowledge, transcendental knowledge is compared to that strong boat which can carry us from the ocean of the cycle of birth and death. We are drowning in an ocean of birth and death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam. Shankaracharya says. So many lifetimes, millions of lifetimes we have passed in various species of life, and we may continue going through millions of lifetimes. Again, repeated birth, old age, disease, death, birth, old age, disease, death. How to get out of this cycle? You need knowledge. Not ordinary knowledge. Transcendental knowledge. Spiritual knowledge. As given by Bhagavat Pranitam. As given by God Himself. And when we take shelter of this knowledge, then we can cross. The Bhagavatam says, the entire ocean, for a person who has this knowledge, who has taken shelter of Krishna's words, the entire ocean becomes condensed to form a small pool of water as big as water contained in a hoofprint of a calf. Imagine bachada, गाय का बछड़ा, it walks on earth and it creates an impression on the earth. उस impression के अंदर whatever water is stored, the entire big ocean becomes as small as that. So to cross that, how much effort do we need? Any small baby also can cross, right? That's how effortless it becomes to cross the ocean for a person who has spiritual knowledge. Bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. Vatsa padam is bachade ka, that much water. The bhavam buddhir, the ocean of material existence becomes as small as this. So therefore it is important that we regularly study this knowledge. It's not just any academic, some thing has so many other books and then one book also we will study. It's not like any other knowledge. It is a knowledge that can take us from one end of the existence to a totally different existence. An existence in the current existence is asat, achit, nirananda. Temporary, miserable, without any happiness. To an existence that is satchidananda. Eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. And to take us from one such a level to that level, you need boat. That boat of knowledge is this knowledge. So therefore, it is as people born in the holy land of India with a human body, it's our privilege that we have access to this knowledge. And it's the best utilization of our human life to understand this, apply it, and perfect our life. So thank you so much. We will stop here. If anyone has any comment or question, we can take one or two.
Hare Krishna. Sir, his examples are very enlightening, and thank you for demystifying so many clouds in our mind. The clarification what I need was that Draupadi, when she was derobed, she still had faith in the Bhishmapita and the elders. In spite of knowing that Lord Krishna is there at her back of the call. In fact, Krishna told her, "Why did you take so much of time?" And she said, "I had faith in." So this faith, the missing, the link between the faith and the people. So how do we, the commoners, we need some way of some torchlight has to be given to us. Thank you.
So faith comes in the association of people who have faith. If I want to have faith in faith in business, for example, I need to associate with people who are doing business nicely. If I want to have faith in say cricket or any other discipline, I associate with people who are already practicing that and who have faith and confidence in that subject. Similarly, if I want to have faith in this path, we need to associate with people who have faith in this and who are strictly following this. So faith is a product of our association with whom we associate. If I want to study, say, mathematics, I can't get admitted to a college with some other subject. If I want to pursue medicine, I can't take admission in an engineering college. Like-minded people come together and then pursue the path together. And in this way you continue. Okay, thank you so much for your kind attention. Hare Krishna.